So I wanted to share another thing with you. This is something that maybe didn't spark my faith, but really encouraged it. This is take 3. I've been struggling with trying to explain this. Okay, so there was a man named Peter Stoner who was a math and astronomy professor who decided to try to explain the odds of Jesus fulfilling the prophecies that were written about him in the Bible. And Jesus fulfilled about 108 prophecies, but Peter Stoner started with 8. He said, okay, if Jesus had fulfilled only 8 prophecies, what would that be like? And he said the odds of that happening is 1 in 10 to the 17th power, or 1 with 17 zeros after it. Okay, that's a huge number. What does that mean, right? So he explained it this way. Let's say you have a silver dollar and you put a mark on it. Jesus fulfilling 8 prophecies would be like covering the entire state of Texas 2 feet deep with silver dollars. And on the very first try, having a man blindfolded walk around the state and pick up that one that was marked. So not very good odds, right? So then he went a little further and said, okay, that was Jesus fulfilling 8 prophecies. But what if Jesus fulfilled 16 prophecies? What would that be like? Well, that would be like 1 in 10 to the 45th power, or 1 with 45 zeros after it. Can you imagine even writing that number? So 16 prophecies, Jesus fulfilling 16 of them, would be like taking silver dollars and making a huge ball with them, okay? Scrunching them up. And this ball is bigger than Earth, bigger than the sun, so much so that if you put the center of this ball where the center of the sun is, the outer edge would reach to the outer orbit of Neptune, almost to Pluto. So imagine all the way from the middle of the sun to Pluto, almost Neptune, and all the way around. And it's not just surface area, it's a 3D figure. So totally made up of silver dollars. So if you had a sphere that big, Jesus fulfilling 16 prophecies would be like taking that same coin that was marked and putting it somewhere in that ball and having a man blindfolded pick out the marked coin on the very first try. And once again, Jesus fulfilled over 108 prophecies. And there's so many examples of this kind of stuff that's so cool. Okay, time for my favorite joke. So one day there was a rabbi who was walking around in the forest, and he came upon a village. And this village, the people there were called the Trids. Now the Trids were these tiny little people. And as he approaches the village, he notices the Trids are standing in a long line. So he's curious and he gets into line at the end of the line. And as he's standing there, he hears this woo, and he looks up and he sees a Trid flying over his head. A few minutes later, woo, another one and another one and another one. And as he's standing in line and the line's getting smaller, he sees at the beginning of the line is a giant. And every time a Trid steps up to the giant kicks the Trid, and the Trid goes flying over his head just laughing. So now he's incredibly curious. And he finally gets to his turn and he's in the front of the line. And the giant looks down at him and says, "Silly rabbi, kicks are for Trids." And that's my favorite joke.